All right, guys. I was glad to see our guys come back out, continuing to be focused. I thought we had a good day today. Of course, got some things cleaned up for a regular Thursday, and so with that, I'll answer any questions. None?
First of all, what do you make of, Odell came out pretty strongly yesterday and charged Gregg for taking the cheap shots immediately against players, specifically when my question is, have you ever seen anything like that? And what do you think of Odell making those remarks?
I've not seen anything like that. We're getting ready to play the Jets. I don't have anything to say about that. I haven't seen anything. I coached with the guy for a year.
Has Odell expressed any concern to you about that happening again on Monday night?
No, he has not.
About his comments yesterday.
No, I have not. No, I do not. I feel pretty sure that Odell's focus is on the New York Jets. I think sometimes he says things for reasons. Okay, so.
The reason was?
I don't know. I'm not talking about this. It does not matter to me one way or the other. I've not seen the guy do anything like that. We're getting ready for the Jets. Pretty simple, right?
When there's a video of Jarvis walking off the field, and Malcolm Butler from the Titans said something like, "Your team doesn't have any heart," meaning the Browns. He said Jarvis does, but you guys don't. Did you see that, and what would your reaction be if an opponent is saying that about you guys?
I did not see that, but I would say I guess we're going to find out.
Freddie, a lot of coaches are, just
What do you do?
are so big on routines. You have a night game now on a short week. Is your routine going to be greatly altered, and is that something you worry about?
No, it's not, because we've made plans accordingly for that. That's the reason today is like a Thursday for us. As far as the night game aspect of things, we treat it just like we did in the preseason from that standpoint. So, no, they've had practice at the schedule that we're on now. The only difference being is Wednesday's not a Wednesday. Wednesday is actually a Thursday.
Tricky because of, just to dovetail on his question, I don't know if you guys may have addressed this in the summer, but because you guys have a kind of a funky schedule with so many night games and then back-to-day games early in the season, when did you guys start looking at that and maybe ways to how you're going to manage that?
As soon as the schedule came out, we started planning. So you're not making those decisions once you get into the season. So those are put in pencil. And if you feel like your team needs something different than that, then you change it accordingly. But other than that, they were done as soon as the schedule came out.
The 49ers spent the week in Youngstown. You ever been with a team that's stayed away for 2 weeks like that?
Yeah, a few times. We back in '08, we had 5 East Coast trips from Arizona. So we went a couple of days before on 3 of them, and then in between Washington and New York, we stayed the week. Took the train up. It's a nice ride. Everything's good.
Greatly different that week. You have somewhere to practice, obviously. But
Yeah, you have somewhere to practice, but what becomes different in those situations is the areas that you're meeting in. But usually the organizations are very good about it's basically picking up this place and putting it wherever you're at. We have tremendous IT people, video crew. Rob and those guys do a great job. Joe and those guys do a great job in the training room. The equipment guys are always make it seem, seamless. So, everything is as normal as you can get it on situations like that. But, we're in that part of the country where that doesn't really have to happen too much, unless it was something just off the wall different with the scheduling.
Was Richard able to do more today than he did yesterday?
A little bit more, yeah. But, you know, the injury report is the injury report. I'm not trying to dismiss your question.
I see tomorrow, so I didn't know if you had to kind of
Yeah.
guess for if you thought he'd be able to go, if
We're
you're
back in that
optimistic.
same conundrum then, aren't we?
So he would be able to play Monday night. Is that just him having wishful thinking, or are you of the same mindset?
I feel like, yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure yet. I've got to see it I've got to feel comfortable with it, you know?
Is there anything special about playing on Monday night?
I
Monday
think
Night Football specifically,
Yeah.
that stage, spotlight, everyone's watching.
Yeah, I think anytime you're the only show in town, it's kind of special, you know, but you want to play well, so hopefully we play well.
You were a kid, did you beg to stay up?
No, I would just sneak and stay up. Yeah, I remember Bo Jackson and Brian Bosworth, and that's probably the game that I remember the most. I remember the Bears going to Miami undefeated and losing in '85. So there's some games that stuck out to me more than others, but yeah, you would always watch it. Yeah.
Sneak, would you get out of bed and?
Well, my parents would go to bed at the time. They would go to bed early, and yeah, I'd stay up and watch, and supposed to be doing homework or whatever, which I'm sure my grades probably, you know, shown that.
Got any closer to making a decision on who would replace Darius out of your rookies?
No, not yet. Still sorting through it.
Would the guy you signed to the practice squad the other day be a candidate?
I think some of these questions are just or answers are going to seem like they're no answers, but I think everybody's a possibility.
Moved by Sunday, right?
Yes, Monday again. We play Monday, yeah.
What makes Le'Veon so difficult to stop?
He's very versatile. With the ball in his hands, he's a special type guy. His size, a lot of people don't understand and realize his size, his speed, his versatility out of the backfield, catching the ball and running the ball with power, a mix between power and finesse. You know, I really think he's an all-around great back.
What about Baker's demeanor in the practice week that he's had, you know, coming off of the game that he didn't love himself?
Yeah, I didn't. I think that would be better put. Didn't love the fourth quarter, but he's moved on. He's a day-to-day guy. He worries about getting better today, and I think he got better today. You know, I think you know, playing that position. I've said it before. Playing that position, you have to be able to put things behind you and put things to bed, and I think that's what he's done.
He said, when he was talking to us, he said there's a different energy that comes from playing under the lights. Do you sense that from him? Like, is there something with him that he kind of relishes that moment?
Did I say that? When did I?
He
said that.
Yeah, and I'm
Oh.
asking if you sense that from him.
Well, I think in the National Football League, it's anytime the lights come on, it's a special game. It's either a Thursday night, a Sunday night, or it's a Monday night. And that's probably what he's referring to. You know, you're kind of the only show in town whenever everybody's watching. So of course it's you want to put your best foot forward with your peers watching.
Believe that some players kind of have I don't know, are at their best in the big showcase.
Here's what I believe in that. A lot like I believe in you know, end of the game pressure type situations. I think some guys remain the same and some guys can't handle the stage, okay, as well as others. So is it the people are doing extraordinary things? No, they're just doing the same thing they always do, and the other people are not living up to it per se, you know. Yeah, it's kind of the reverse. I mean, if you're going to take that approach, just turn out the lights and turn the lights on every day or whatever, you know. But it's I think people just focus more, they concentrate more, they're more efficient, all those things from the standpoint of trying to do the same thing they do every time, and maybe other people's performance is affected negatively.
Is a pretty big stage. You say, the only show in town and stuff. What's the biggest message to your team to kind of handle the pressure of playing in New York on Monday Night Football?
It's about us. It's not about the outside world. It's not about the lights being on. It's it's just about it. Everything goes through kind of us from the standpoint of how do we prepare? How do we play? We just want to continue to prepare well, play well, and be a tough, physical, smart football team.
About in Indianapolis, how you guys kind of got more together, being on the road together. Do you think that this could be something like that, where this could really bring the team together?
Well, I think anytime you have success, people seem to be more together. But when you realize it more than anything is after you come off a loss. And I think over the last 2 weeks we've experienced some things that you either in together tight or you're not. And I think we've got a bunch of guys in the locker room that care about each other and that are going to be tight and not willing to let each other down. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Sometimes you've got some outspoken guys in your locker room, and they say some things that can kind of fan the flames a little bit before a game. What is your philosophy on dealing or handling with those kinds of things? Is it a case-by-case basis, or do you just kind of let them be who they are?
Well, I'm going to give you a long, extended answer for that. So I want guys to be themselves because I think they are the best when they can just be themselves. All right. So in saying that, as long as they don't do anything that hurts this football team, I'm fine with whatever they want to do. Once it starts overstepping the boundaries of hurting the football team, then that's where I have to step in, and they understand that. All right. Now, whether they make a comment about something, whatever it is, if it's affecting you guys or it's affecting someone else outside of this locker room, so be it. That's them being them, I guess. That's their decision. But as long as it doesn't affect the locker room in a negative way, then I would hope they would use good judgment.
When you say that, you're talking about when maybe they're talking about things that happen in the locker room or other guys. That's kind of where the line is for you versus talking about things outside.
Anything that affects the team negatively. All right. So, however you want to draw the line, I know the difference.
Freddie, Todd Monken told us that I guess the league told you guys that Gregg Robinson block shouldn't have been called or something like that. So I guess first of all, is that true? And then secondly, as the league kind of adjusts to the officials' points of emphasis, things like that, how do you coach that as they're trying to figure it out a little bit too?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on what we heard back from the officials. That's Todd needs to learn we're not supposed to talk about that. So.
What about the second part though? When the league is adjusting to points of emphasis and maybe they overreact to things, things like that.
I don't really even want to comment on that. It's just, those guys are out there trying to do a good job. I understand that. We should understand that. We understand that after the whistle's blown, we don't need to do extracurricular things. So part of being a smart football team is understanding that we can't control things that happen during the course of the play as long as we're using good technique and putting ourselves in good positions to, be successful. But, yes, and those guys do a good job.
Beyond some of the personal fouls and that kind of stuff, you had mentioned even last week, I think you cited the stat that in week 1, there's usually you get your most penalties to begin with. So do you think, just on some of the minor stuff and maybe even the Robinson play that you're not going to comment on, that officials start to get a feel for it and the teams get a feel for how they're going to call a game?
I think anytime I would say yes in a lot of your question there, but I would say that anytime you kind of start over, nothing's never the same from a football season standpoint. So anytime you start over, You know, that's their first game too. That's our first game, you know, so we're not going to overreact in any area concerning that. So, yeah, I mean, I think they get a feel for the game. The players get a feel for them, and you adjust. That's really all I can say about it. You know, but historically, the first game of the year is the most penalized game of the year. Now, the things that we can control, we need to control, and our guys understand that. And again, it's about identifying the problem and rectifying the problem. We hadn't seen anything like that before, so I don't expect to see it again. I think our guys will play smart, physical, and tough.
Back to the Malcolm Butler. To Malcolm Butler telling Jarvis that the team doesn't have enough heart.
He doesn't know our locker room.
You said we'll find out, but I just wanted to get you on the record. How do you feel about that? Because some people have questioned the effort toward the end of the opener. Does your team have enough heart, and are you seeing all the things you need to see that way?
I'm really glad you said that, because I'm sure some of our guys will read this, and I want to be affirmatively that everybody will find out what our team has. Okay? Nobody's going to question our heart. There was nothing about heart with the way that game happened the other day. And I don't know who the hell is saying that, but they really don't know. All right? So they're not going to question our heart. And if they do, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, whoever it is writing it or saying it. Okay? Yeah. Well.
The Browns
Who's on your-
thing at the end
your video?
of this week's.
Guess I got to catch up on those episodes.
You're up.
Yeah, well, I guess that comes with the territory. But, you know, I would say that he's never been in our locker room.